There are moments in life that come like a storm. Sudden, cruel, and unforgettable. One such moment came to me on an ordinary morning. I was 78 years old. The sun had just risen. The birds were singing outside, and I was in my kitchen making tea as I had done 1,000 times before. But then, something strange happened. The spoon slipped from my hand. My right arm felt heavy. When I tried to call out, my words broke into pieces, like glass shattering on the floor. My daughter ran to me, her face pale with fear. "Mom, are you okay?" she cried. But I could not answer. I tried, and no sound came. In that instant, my world collapsed. My body betrayed me. My face drooped, my legs gave way, and I fell to the ground. I remember the panic in my daughter's eyes, the sound of her trembling voice as she called the ambulance. The room spun, my chest tightened, and I thought, this is it. This is how my story ends. The sirens screamed through the streets as the ambulance rushed me to the hospital. I could hear voices around me. Doctors, nurses, my children crying. But they sounded far away, like echoes from another world. My body was heavy, frozen. My mind screamed, but my lips would not move. I was trapped inside myself, a prisoner in my own skin. The doctors confirmed it. I had suffered a stroke. A word I had heard before but never truly understood until that moment. Stroke. Such a small word, yet so powerful that it can steal your speech, your movement, your freedom in the blink of an eye. Lying in that hospital bed, machines beeping around me, I felt smaller than I had ever felt in my life. Helpless, broken, silent. I saw the tears in my children's eyes as they stood by my side. My granddaughter, only 10 years old, held my hand and whispered, "Grandma, please don't leave us." Those words pierced my soul. I wanted to speak, to tell her, "I am here, my child. I am not going anywhere." But my mouth refused to obey. I could only squeeze her tiny fingers, hoping she understood. That night, as I lay under the harsh white lights of the hospital, fear swallowed me whole. I thought of the garden I might never walk in again, the stories I might never tell again, the birthdays, the hugs, the laughter, all slipping away. I asked myself, is this how my life ends? In silence? In stillness? My heart broke at the thought, but deep inside a tiny spark whispered, "Not yet. This is not your ending." When I woke up the next morning in the hospital, my world was no longer the same. I tried to move my right arm. It lay still, heavy as stone. I tried to sit up, but my leg refused to obey. I opened my mouth to speak, to call out for my daughter, but only broken sounds came out. It was as if half my body had died while I was still alive. The nurses spoke gently, but their eyes told me the truth. I had survived the stroke, but I was not the woman I used to be. My speech was broken, my steps stolen. I felt like a stranger inside my own skin. For someone who had lived with pride and independence all her life, it was unbearable. I thought, I am no longer me. I am only a shadow of myself. Our days turned into weeks. I lay on that hospital bed, listening to the sounds around me. Machines beeping, footsteps in the hallway, doctors discussing cases. But inside me there was only silence. Every time I tried to form a sentence, the words twisted and stumbled. I cried in frustration. Imagine having so much to say, but your mouth refusing to cooperate. My children leaned in close, trying to understand my broken speech. Their love was there, but I could see the pain in their eyes. I was their mother, their grandmother, and now I was dependent on them for everything. Nights were the hardest. I would stare at the ceiling, tears sliding down into my pillow. The fear of being a burden ate at me. Once I whispered to myself, maybe it would have been easier if I had not survived at all. That thought scared me, but it was real. Stroke had not only attacked my body, it had attacked my spirit. It had stolen my confidence, my freedom, my dignity. And yet even in those dark nights, a flicker of light remained. One evening, my grandson came running into the hospital room with a handmade card. In shaky letters it read, "Get well soon, Grandma. You are my hero." He placed it on my chest and kissed my forehead. My broken heart cracked open, and for the first time in weeks I smiled. My body may have been weak, but my soul was still alive. I realized then that this was not only my fight, it was my family's fight too. They needed me, just as much as I needed them. And though I felt small and powerless, their love gave me a reason to try, to keep breathing, to keep fighting, to keep hoping that one day I would not only survive, but live again. After the stroke, I thought I was finished. My body was broken, my voice was shattered, and hope felt like a stranger I could no longer recognize. But God never leaves us without a light. For me, that light was my family. Every single day, my daughter came to the hospital. She would sit by my bed, brush my hair gently and say, "Mother, don't give up. We still need you." Even when I could not reply with proper words, she listened to the broken syllables as if they were precious gems. She understood me when even I could not understand myself. She became my voice when mine was stolen. My son, strong and quiet, became my protector. He held my hand when the doctors explained the long road ahead. He brought me fresh flowers for my room, so that even in the smell of medicine and antiseptic, I could breathe in the scent of life. And my grandchildren, oh, they were my angels. They ran into my room with laughter that broke through the walls of despair. They drew pictures of me standing tall, walking again, smiling. "See, Grandma, that's you. You'll be better soon," they said, and I wanted so badly to believe them. Faith, too, wrapped itself around me like a warm blanket. Each morning my daughter would open the curtains so that the sunlight touched my face, and in that golden light I whispered my prayers. Not long, complicated prayers. Just simple words. God, give me strength. Let me see another sunrise. Let me hold my family a little longer. And somehow, every day, I found enough strength to keep breathing, to keep hoping. One evening, I remember, my youngest granddaughter climbed onto my bed. She pressed her tiny palm against my cheek and said, "Grandma, God is healing you." I asked him myself. Her faith was so pure, so innocent that it brought tears to my eyes. In that moment, I thought, if she believes in me, how can I stop believing in myself? So with every prayer, with every smile from my family, a small piece of me returned. I began to try again, to move my fingers, to say one clear word, to sit up without help. These were tiny victories, but for me they were mountains climbed. Each little success whispered, "You are not done yet." Our family and faith became my medicine, stronger than any pill, more powerful than any treatment. They gave me courage when fear tried to consume me. They gave me purpose when despair told me to quit. And slowly I began to believe. Maybe this stroke was not my ending, but the beginning of a new chapter in my life. My dear ones, the doctors told me that stroke recovery would not be easy. At your age, they said, progress will be slow. Their words were heavy, but my heart was determined. I told myself slow is still moving. Even if I take one step in a month, it is better than lying still forever. And so, my journey of rehabilitation began. For every morning, a nurse and a physiotherapist came to my room. They helped me sit on the edge of the bed. My legs trembled as if they no longer belonged to me. My right arm dangled like a forgotten branch. The therapist said, "We will start small. Move your fingers for me." It sounded so simple. Fingers. But when I tried, they refused to obey. I cried like a child. Imagine being 78 and unable to move a single finger. Yet my daughter held my shoulders and whispered, "Mother, don't cry. Tomorrow you will do better." Day after day we practiced. First the fingers, then the wrist, then lifting my arm a few inches. Each movement was a battle, but each battle won felt like a victory parade. The first time I managed to hold a spoon, I wept. Not because of the spoon, but because it meant I was reclaiming pieces of my life. The speech therapy was another mountain. My tongue felt heavy, my words clumsy. The therapist showed me pictures and asked me to name them. I wanted to shout, "That is a tree! That is a house!" But the words broke into fragments. I grew frustrated. Yet my grandchildren clapped even at my broken sounds. "Good job, Grandma. You said it." Their innocent encouragement became my strength. Walking again seemed impossible. For weeks my legs refused to carry me. I needed support on both sides. And even then, every step felt like fire in my muscles. I fell more than once. Each fall bruised not just my body, but my pride. I thought, maybe I will never walk again. But then I remembered my grandson's drawing of me standing tall, and I thought, I owe him this victory. So I tried again, and again until one morning, something changed. With the help of my daughter and the therapist, I placed one foot in front of the other. My knees shook. Sweat dripped down my forehead, but I did not stop. One step, then another, then another. When I reached the end of the hallway, the nurses applauded. My daughter cried, and I laughed through my tears. It was only 10 steps, but to me it felt like crossing an ocean. That day I learned that healing is not about speed, but persistence. Every little effort counts. The stroke had tried to silence me, to imprison me, but with patience, with pain, and with love, I was breaking free. I was walking again. I was speaking again. I was living again. Months passed, and with each passing day I reclaimed little pieces of myself. The woman who once lay frozen on a hospital bed was now walking with her. Family in the garden. My steps were slow. My speech still carried scars, but I was alive, breathing, smiling. And more than anything, I was grateful. One evening my family gathered in the living room. My daughter brought out a cake. My grandchildren clapped their little hands, and my son said, "Today, we celebrate your victory." I looked around at their faces, glowing with pride, shining with love, and I felt tears of joy roll down my cheeks. I stood up slowly without help and walked across the room, every eye filled with tears. Every heart in that room beat louder. My grandchildren cheered, "Grandma is walking." In that moment, I was not just a survivor. I was a warrior. But healing after a stroke was not just about my body. It was about my spirit. I learned to be patient with myself, to celebrate small victories. I learned that weakness does not make you worthless, and age does not make you powerless. Healing is slow, yes, but it is also miraculous. Every breath, every step, every word was a gift I had once feared I would lose. I often sit in my garden now, the sunlight warm on my face, the flowers dancing in the breeze, and I whisper to myself, this is life, this is hope, this is grace. I survived a storm I thought would end me, but instead it transformed me. It showed me the power of love, the strength of faith, and the resilience hidden inside the human heart. To anyone listening to my story, especially those who feel trapped after illness or weighed down by age, hear my words carefully. A stroke may steal your strength, but it cannot steal your will. Pain may break your body, but it cannot break your spirit, unless you let it. Do not give up. Do not surrender. Healing is not easy, but every day you fight is a victory in itself. My dear ones, if at 78 I can rise after a stroke, so can you. No matter your age, no matter your struggle. Remember this. Hope is stronger than despair, and love is stronger than pain. And when life whispers that it is over, you must whisper back, not today, not yet.